This is level 1 of the hip and knee stability videos. You'll need a circle band, a chair, and a yoga block or towel. Let's start out on our side, head supported on your arm. Knees are bent and stacked, hips are stacked on top of each other. We're going to do some clamshells, lifting your top knee without moving your hips. We're going to do 10 reps here. Keep your hand on your hip and make sure we aren't allowing the hip to roll backwards as you go through these reps. Keep your hips stacked. Keep the glutes forward and lift the leg without moving the hip. Let's finish out 10 reps. All right, staying on this side, we're going to come up onto our elbow for a side plank. Feet are behind you, hips are stacked, making sure your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. Lifting through the hips and rib cage to come up into a plank. We're going to hold it for about 20 seconds. One more deep breath here. And we're going to flip over to the other side and start again with those clamshells. So laying on your side, making sure hips and knees are stacked, hip isn't moving or rolling. And as we finish out 10 reps, we're coming up onto our elbow again for a side plank. Again, checking in, the elbow is directly underneath your shoulder, and then lifting through the hips, bringing your glutes all the way forward, bridging up, 20 seconds. Make sure we're keeping our head in line with the rest of our body here. We're not allowing it to flop down towards the floor. Keeping nice and steady here. Go ahead and come back down out of this. We're going to lay down onto our back, bracing through the core and squeezing our glutes to lift up the hips into a glute bridge. Coming back down to the floor, reset, squeezing the glutes each time to bring your hips up. Nice steady breathing as you go, making sure you're not arching through the rib cage, trying to keep the core brace on as you move, and trying to keep your hips level. Last couple reps here. Nice, we're going to go through all of that one more time, starting again on the first side with our clamshells. So getting our hips and knees stacked up on top of each other. And then lifting the knee, trying to keep that top hip rolled forward. Hand is on the hip. We're not allowing hips to roll backwards away from us. We'll finish out 10 reps here and we'll go back to our side plank. Okay, bringing that elbow right underneath your shoulder. We're coming in for side plank number 2 here. Lifting through the hips and rib cage, bringing your hips all the way forward. Nice steady breathing, feeling strong through the shoulders throughout this movement. Nice, coming back down, let's flip over to the second side, starting again with our clamshells. And as you finish out your reps, we're bringing our elbow underneath the shoulder for our last side plank here. Noticing as we get tired that we're keeping our head up in line with the body. Great job. Let's come back down to the floor. We're laying on our back again for another round of glute bridge. Squeezing through the core, bracing, and then squeezing the glutes to bring our hips up off the ground for 10 reps. All right, as you finish your last rep here, we're going to level up that glute bridge a little bit. Grabbing a hip circle band, we're going to put it just above our knees. Once you're ready, laying back down on your back, we're going to push our knees out into the band, brace our core, and then squeezing through the glutes, we're going to bring our hips back off the floor just like before. Make sure you're keeping your knees pressed out throughout the entire set. We'll get to about 10 reps here total. If this feels doable, next time you go through this workout, feel free to use a band on all of your glute bridge sets. One last rep here, and then as you come back to the ground, you can take the band off. We're going to move up to standing and take a seat in a chair. Scooting to the front of the chair, you're going to bring your feet to shoulder width apart. Keeping the torso long, we're hinging to get our weight on the feet and squeezing our glutes to come up to standing. Reaching the tailbone back to sit back down in the chair. Making sure we're using our glutes to help us stand up tall. Top of the movement is normal standing, shoulders pulled back. We're going to do about 10 total reps here. Making sure we're keeping our feet grounded in the floor. We're not rocking heel to toe throughout this movement. Nice. Let's make that the last rep. We're going to progress this a little bit to a full squat, so we're not sitting all the way down anymore. Feet are still shoulder width apart as we reach our tailbone back, but we're going to come right up to standing again when your hips touch the chair. We're not going to sit all the way down. Nice and strong, squeezing your glutes to come up to standing, pulling those shoulders back, increasing the pace a little bit if it feels good, if we're able to keep our torso long. Great. We're going to sit down in a chair, grabbing a yoga block or a rolled up towel. We're going to put that between our knees and squeeze the knees together, maintaining an upright posture during that squeeze, and then slowly straightening one leg, squeezing through the quad. Bring that leg back down and switch to the other side, squeezing the block with your knees as you straighten the leg. Let's keep repeating this on either side. Okay, last couple reps, big squeeze at the top. Nice. We're going to go back to those squats one more time. If you need to, feel free to keep sitting down each rep. Otherwise, we're coming down to just touch off of or hover over the chair. Then we're squeezing our glutes to come up to standing. Making sure you're reaching back with the hips as you begin this movement. Keeping the shoulders back, keeping the chest open even as we lean over. And let's sit back down for another round of those knee extensions. Yoga mat or rolled up towel between your knees. Sitting up tall, squeezing the knees together as you extend one leg, squeezing through the quad nice and strong at the top, Coming back down, squeezing the block, other leg squeezing through the quad. Let's do a couple more reps on either side, taking your time at the top of this movement. As you finish off one last rep on either side, this will end our hip and knee stability workout for today. If things were feeling good after a couple sessions, feel free to have a look at level 2.